It is the last group chat of the week, coming to you on the eve of the new season for Manchester United. We're going to look ahead to the campaign in today's programme, and we're doing it in the company of Maisie, of Ben and Wes and Danny. Boys, morning. How are you?
Morning.
Morning, Stu.
Good,
Look, where's the sun, Ben? What's going on there? That's very strange.
I've come back to the northwest, haven't I? It's no, it was lovely this morning, but it just seems to have clouded over a little bit. So inside,
yeah, where it didn't look right.
Salford,
right? No pigeons in Salford, mate. There's no.
Not the size of the ones that we get down there.
No, tragic. Listen, lots of reaction to the show on Wednesday when Edwin was on. So thanks for that. MUTV at manunited.co.uk. If you want to get involved, just some emails. This one from Klarosh, who says, I'm an Iranian Manchester United fan. Since the very first football match I watched on TV back in my hometown of Mashhad. This one, as I was around 6 or 7 years old, I think, and believe it was the game at Cantona, returned from his ban. I'm 32 now and will be a United fan forever. Really enjoyed today's group chat, seeing Edwin van der Sar. So thank you for that, Karosh. We appreciate it. Were you involved in that game, Maisie, when Eric came back from his ban?
Yeah. No, I don't think I was. I remember it.
Yeah.
Set one up and scored the penalty, didn't he?
Penalty, and he sort of jumped up on the post.
That's the one.
Yeah,
brilliant. I think that's when Redknapp were running in treacle, wasn't it?
Yeah. This one from Ishan, who says, I was so happy to be featured in the group chat last Thursday. I remember the time I was watching the Champions League final in 2008 when I wasn't even allowed to watch games late at night. Since most Champions League ties start 12:45 a.m. here in Nepal. Wes threw in the cross for Ronaldo to score. I jumped out of the sofa and screamed, woke my father up, and that gave a big explanation for why I was screaming at midnight. I loved Edwin's appearance. He was such a fantastic keeper for us. He won the tie that night. I absolutely love Maisie's sense of humour. I hope Ben finally gets rid of all those pigeons. Cheers, lad. Keep up the good. He loves your sense of humour, Maisie. We found the one, which is good news. This one from Alex. This man, which is Edwin, is a real hero of mine. The reason I play in goal. Best goalkeeper we ever had. Good debate, that. Nigel van der Sar for Director of Football. Make it happen. Dean. Haven't missed one group chat or United podcast since the lockdown. David May's a legend. I'll always remember his goal against Porto in the Champions League from Dean Irish in Arizona. Maisie, is that the one that most people talk to you about, the Porto goal, no?
Well, that one, the Middlesbrough one. Yeah, I've got a few. A few in a lot.
And Gasten says, this show is one of the best things to come out of quarantine. Keep them coming, lads. We will. And Calvary says, I was watching the Villa United preview, and how is Stuart so tall compared to Ben? I thought it was the other way around. Oh, everybody's tall compared to Ben, let's be honest.
He's a little stump, isn't it? I have to get a box for him now, Stu.
I know. It's true. So thanks for getting in touch. We're always available, MUTV at manunited.co.uk. Obviously, on the verge of a new season for United, but interestingly, the awards from last season have just been announced this week, and today, United's Player of the Year, the Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year, as voted by you, Bruno Fernandez. Now, bear in mind, he didn't kick a ball till the 1st of February. Bruno Fernandez, United's Player of the Year. I think he got 35% of the vote, just ahead of Anthony Martial. Ben, that says something about his impact, doesn't it? Player of the Year, and he didn't play for half of the year.
Yeah, it is incredible. Just the impact, like you say, that he did have. He came in straight away, and whereas a lot of players, you can say it takes them a while to settle down at any club, let alone Manchester United. He hit the ground running straight away, and you can probably argue that if it wasn't for his performances and his goals, then we might not be playing Champions League football next season. So, as surprising as it probably was, because he was there for such a little time. The impact that he had was tremendous, and I can see why people voted for him.
Yeah, I mean, Wes, I suppose if we hadn't signed him, it would have been a big ask, wouldn't it, to get in that top four? I mean, you can see why people have voted, can't you?
Yeah, I can, yeah. I mean, he just brought a consistency, didn't he, in that short period of time, high expectation, and he just kept it going. So well done to him for winning that, because he sort of said to the other lads, now this is the standard that we need and the consistency we need. So it was well deserved from him. And, the other lads also stepped up as well when he came in, and that's what he brought to the team.
Yeah. Maisie, would you have voted for him?
I thought it'd been exceptional. What Ben said there, I didn't like that. I don't think we would have made Champions League. But I think that's the difference when you bring in quality, and you can add quality to what we've got now. I still think we need a couple more players. And if you do that, then, you are going to be challenging for honours. I just hope that, Ole can get another couple more players in of that ilk, like Donny and Bruno. Then I think we've got a real good chance of some silverware this year, and that's what this club's all about, getting silverware. So fingers crossed we can get players of that ilk in.
I suppose it does show, Danny, that if you make the right signing, it can be absolutely transformational. I mean, somebody who signed in late January and ended up winning Player of the Season.
Yeah, it really does show that, and I think the lads have touched on most of it there. But the level that he raised, but by coming in, he raised the level of other people. The demands that he put. We didn't have anybody really on the pitch as vocal as him, who you could see out there was making sure that other people sort of hit the maximum, if you get what I mean. Like Keno used to do, he'd always make sure what you knew what you wanted from what he wanted from you and what was your role in the team. And I just remember a key moment early on where he was telling Wan-Bissaka in his first game where he wanted him to run and what he demanded from him and what he expected from him. And we saw numerous episodes like that. And when you're on a football pitch with somebody like that, you don't want to let them down. You want to do as well as you can. And, Addy is the magic in his feet, his goals and his assists. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, brilliant signing. Well, I've been chatting to Ollie about Bruno, about other things as well. And obviously you'll see that interview on match day. But here's just a little taste of it now. Ollie, before we talk about the new season, just some awards from last season that have been announced. Bruno got the coveted Sir Matt Busby Fans Player of the Season, which shows a remarkable impact as he only started in February. But I guess that tells the story of what the fans make of him.
Yeah, of course. He had a fantastic impact. He came in at the time we needed a spark. We were building a good team. We needed Bruno's qualities, and his whole persona is not just his football with the qualities, but also his personal attributes. I think warm to the fans. I think they see a winner. They see someone who really cares and who's got exceptional skills as well, and fantastic impact and well deserved.
I know you like those goals in the 6-yard box, but Marcus won goal of the season from about 40 yards at Chelsea. Would you have voted for that?
It's probably the one extravagant, the one that stands out the most. Yeah, what a fantastic strike in a big game against a big team, good club. Great moment in the game as well, and he's got the capability, Marcus, of doing that. His striking of a ball it reminds me of other players that we've had. So hopefully he can get one or two of those. I'm still on Marcus as well on the tap-ins, the simple ones, because they count just as much,
Well, looking ahead, after a uniquely short pre-season, are we ready?
Yeah, we're as ready as we can be. We've had, as you say, a strange pre-season. We've had players away, internationals. We've had some players working here, some players are just getting back fit. So it's been a strange pre-season, but it's been a good one for the ones who've been working. They've been working hard, and you've got to say that Europa League that we played until the 17th of August, was it 16th, 17th? Around about a month ago, that will stand us in good stead. That was almost like our pre-season.
And how are the players? Because I suppose some have really only had a few sessions, I guess.
Yeah, they're at different stages. I have to say, mentally, I think everyone's ready. Physically, they are at a different stage. Some of them have played more games than others, so we'll have to be clever and good about when to play players and when they're, because we know this period now until the first international break is a hugely important one. We need points, we need games, but some of them haven't trained enough football. Some of them have been in quarantine. Some of them, so it's just one of these situations that we've adapted to really well before, and the players have done well.
Do you have any sort of new actual sort of injuries or unavailabilities, or is it just the longer term ones?
It's still Phil Jones is still out. Axel is not 100% back with us yet. He's on the grass running, which is a positive. Apart from that, we don't have any serious injuries. But as we said, there are different stages of the season and the training program.
It's going to be interesting to see what side he picks tomorrow, guys, because he made the point there that there's only a couple of actual long-term or injuries like Phil Jones and Axel, but there are loads of players who haven't trained that much. Some are further ahead than others. So that's a tricky dilemma, isn't it, guys, to go into a new season about the side that you pick. It might not be what you think of your strongest team. It all depends on the amount of training that you've done. I mean, Ben, it's an awkward one for Ollie, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's unprecedented, isn't it, in so many ways, but certainly to have a squad that you pretty much got everybody to choose from, but are not at the same levels of fitness because of internationals, because of time they've been away, because some of them have had to quarantine, etc. And it probably must be behind the scenes a little bit frustrating for him that they're not all on an even keel. And this is the decision that he has to make. I mean, I'm pretty sure that anybody that he decides to leave out tomorrow will certainly be in the starting lineup for the game against Luton. Maybe he probably feels as though there are two or three of them that aren't ready for the cut and thrust of the Premier League, and with it being the first game as well, an imperative we get off to a good start. If he feels as though there are people that are just falling a little bit short fitness-wise, he might save them and play them on Tuesday. It's a juggling act, but it's something that it's not been able to be helped by the situation, and yeah, it will remain to be seen. I personally feel as though Donny van der Beek should start tomorrow. I think that he's the marquee signing that we've had, the one marquee signing we've had this summer, and I don't see the issue with him starting a game tomorrow. I thought he fitted in really well in the friendly against Villa, and when you've made somebody a signing like that, then I just feel as though it would be benefit for him to start.
Yeah, would you put him in, boys? Don't know who wants that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you start.
I think whoever you start tomorrow, Stu, start the season for us all. Everyone will be chomping at the bit, whether you're, a week behind, 10 days behind, or you're bang on with your fitness and levels. And I think Ben touched on it there. The game at Luton, I think that's a perfect backup game for us, that those that are just off the pace can play in that game as well. I think the Luton team that plays will be a strong team, because I think that will just get the lads that little bit more match fitness, match sharpness, and then you can kick on them with the rest of the season. But it's imperative tomorrow we get the maximum points.
I suppose Wes, even if players have only been training for this week, some players have only been training this week, everyone wants to play, don't they? First game of the season.
Yeah, they will. They will, Stu. I think the problem you've got, if everyone, isn't 100% fit, and you go into this first game, I mean, it should be fine. But he said afterwards, there's these little niggles he might pick up the last 20 minutes, last 10 minutes. And that's the problem. But like everyone said, I don't think it'll be a problem. It's the first game, everyone will be up for it. And, the lads, regardless, all need a game anyway. It's more probably about maybe doing the subs right if someone's not 100% up there.
I suppose the thing is, Dan, everyone's going to be needed. We are going to be playing literally every midweek, basically for the next 8 months.
Yeah, we're basically playing in the Championship. That's what it's like. But no, definitely everybody's going to be needed. And I think that's important to know as well. If you're not starting the game Saturday, that you will get your game time, you know, to keep the harmony in the squad. And let's not forget the likes of Scott McTominay. You know, he'll be pushing. Nemanja Vidic as well. We've got a lot of players now in midfield. Whereas if you go back to January, where we brought in Bruno really because we didn't have so many players, it's a total different shift. So, you know, everybody fighting for places, which is great, and there's a lot of minutes to go around. So it stands us in good stead if we manage it right and manage to get into a rhythm. I just hope we don't chop and change too much where we're struggling to find our rhythm really, which happened when we changed the team after lockdown a little bit.
Now, Ollie also held his press conference today, and you might well have seen this during the course of the day, but he was clearly pretty unhappy with England's handling of Mason Greenwood. But let's just remind ourselves of what Ollie said in his press conference.
Yeah, of course I speak to Mason, and I've spoken to Mason. Of course, obviously, that what we speak about and discuss will be between the two of us. The kid had a fantastic season. He's just come through. I've worked, and the club have worked, and all the staff here. We worked really hard to. When we gave Mason enough time on the pitch, when we gave him exposure in the media, then you come to the end of the season, and we've had less than 2 weeks off, and he's called up to the national team. I have to be honest enough to say I tried my best to give him a rest over the summer. That the club, we asked specifically that and we pointed out he should have had a rest. He needs it mentally and physically after that season he had. First thing that happens is he's called up, two is right there in the press. We've done whatever we can to protect him, and I will keep on helping him. I know that when he comes back into the daily routine of the club and what we do to him, he'll be fine.
Interesting from Ollie, that, isn't it? He didn't want Mason to go on international duty. He felt he needed a rest after a long breakthrough season. Not sure he was too thrilled that he was thrust right in front of the cameras to do a press conference. And of course, we know what happened after that. So what do you make of that, Ben? You're pretty unhappy with the handling of Mason.
Oh yeah, you can sort of understand it. I mean, he's a young lad that has been thrust into the limelight at Manchester United and responded incredibly well with the goals that he scored and the performances that he's put in. And knowing with Manchester United's exploits in the Europa League, we were probably going to have the least time to prepare for what is going to be a very condensed, sort of difficult season. So having somebody of his age not really getting the time to sort of step away from football, not just physically but mentally as well, was obviously something that he was very, very concerned about. But as we know, with international call-ups, you know, you have to go unless you can prove that a player is injured and can't make it, or that they can sort of concur with the manager of the club's reasoning for that particular lad not to be able to travel. And I think that he had really good grounds to keep Mason behind, but obviously he went in the end, and you know, there are different things that came out of it that we probably could have done without.
Yeah, I mean, Wes, is this a sort of thing almost that Sir Alex used to do? Is he circle the wagons when a player's getting criticism from outside, and you know, maybe have a bit of a pop at the FA or England?
Yeah, of course he would. I mean, he was, you know, I think he was very outspoken about sometimes when he didn't want players to go because he needed a rest or they've got a niggle. And, you know, I think on this occasion, I mean, we all know Mason was very silly, but listen, he's a young lad and it happened. And I just feel like maybe he should have had a little bit more protection as well in that sort of circumstance. And like Ollie said, you know, he's had a great first season. His talent is all that is there to be seen, and I just think Ollie just wanted to keep him grounded a little bit and, you know, out of the limelight a little bit, and that's why he probably didn't want him to go as well as obviously, you know, playing a very long season, the back end of it anyway. And you know, Ollie now, you know, will have I would have had a word with Mason, and he we'll tell him to keep his head down now and just, show everyone what your talent's about and start scoring goals for this team. But listen, it's things, when you're that age, anything can happen, Stu. I know it's not good to say it, but the kids aren't there. And, they're sometimes put in positions that they've never been in before and don't know how to handle it.
Of course, there is actually a game of football to discuss as well. United playing Palace, one of the very few clubs to have success at Old Trafford last season, right at the start of last season. They won. United beaten them after the lockdown. And they won their first game of the campaign against Southampton, wasn't it, a week ago? So, Ben, I suppose the fact that they won a year ago means that the warning signs are there. United certainly won't be taken. Well, I can't imagine they'd be taking them lightly.
We equalised, I think, didn't we, with a couple of minutes to go? A lovely strike from Dan James against Palace last season. And the momentum was firmly with us. And I remember Paddy saying in commentary that there was still injury time and extra time left to go and get the winner. And we actually went and conceded in injury time as well. So it just goes to show that you can't take any of these teams lightly. And ironically, obviously the goal scorer for Palace last week was Wilfried Zaha, who ever since he's left Manchester United, the goals that he scored have been more about quality than quantity. But he's hit the ground running to start with, and he is certainly their talisman that they will look to make things happen and to create goals and to try and score them. And he's somebody that we will definitely have to keep a tight rein on. But it's Manchester United. We're at home. I know there's no fans there, but we're at home. And these were the type of games where United sort of lacked consistency last season, did really well against the top side and let themselves down. And this was definitely one of the games where they did that. And they will be looking to get off to a great start and make sure that they're not trailing by 6 points come 7 o'clock tomorrow evening.
Where Sir Alex always used to say, United came into their own just after Christmas in the new year, and that's when they started to go through the gears. But you can't do that anymore, can you? You've got to be straight away. You can't afford to drop points.
No, you can't. I think it's because of the Christmas parties we used to have, Stu, and then we're focusing. No, but you've got to start straight away. Like Maisie said, we've got to start to get back to where teams are coming to Old Trafford not wanting to come. It's as simple as that. I remember being in the just about to walk out now in the tunnel. And I know a couple of lads, and they'd be like, just keep it down today, lads. That mentality, they'd actually say it to us or just whisper it to us, like, we're just defending today, just keep it, just relax a little bit. We need to get it to somewhere near that. And, we can only do that by starting well.
Wes, do you know when you was at Sunderland and you came back to Old Trafford?
Yeah.
What was the dressing room like before that? Was that the same thing?
Yeah, sort of, Ben, mate. You've got to defend.
Yeah.
You defend, you've got to stay with runners. We try and keep the ball, but don't be silly. And if we get a chance, we might only get one. You've got to put it away.
Yeah.
Around that sort of talk, which is what completely happened as well.
But you did put it away, didn't you, Wes? You scored an own goal, didn't you?
I scored an own goal. Danny was about to flick it on, and I flicked it on and went in. It's the only time I've never been disappointed. A little bit. It was a good one from Welbs.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, look, for the new season, do make sure that you take part in the United Predictions feature, which is on the official Manchester United app. For every game, starting with Palace tomorrow, you can predict the following categories: the lineups, the United lineup, the correct score, the first scorer, and the man of the match. And I've done mine. I've gone with 2-0. Martial, first scorer, and man of the match, Bruno. That's what I've gone with. Have a go at yours, all via the Manchester United app. Good fun. So do that. Now, the panel are going to have a go, but in a very limited way, just score predictions. Okay? So let's and we're going to do this throughout the season to see who wins over the course of the season, who is skilled when it comes to score predictions. So let's go around the lads. Ben, score prediction for tomorrow, Manchester United, Crystal Palace.
3-1.
Oh, Ben.
3-1.
You stole it. You stole me.
Yeah.
You're going with 3-1.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. Maisie?
I was going to say 3-1, but I'll go 3-0. We won't concede.
We won't concede. 3-0.
I'll change it. I was going to say 3-1, but I'm going to go 2. What have you got, Maisie?
3-0.
3-0. I go 2-0. 2-0 United. 2-0.
Yeah, I've gone with that. 2-0 United. Right. Okay. Wes?
Do I get first pick next time then?
Yeah.
I mean, you can go with the same. It doesn't have to be different, in fairness.
Alphabetical order.
I'm going to go 2-0, Stu.
2-0 as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All the best people have gone for 2-0. So make sure you get involved. Go on the Manchester United app and the United predictions feature. Okay. Have a go at that. Thanks for your company this week, and we'll see you again on Monday. See you, lads.
Cheers, everyone.
Take care.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, guys.